This video is going to be on how to do the tutorials. I'm going to try and make this as quick as possible. And it's going to include the destruction, the demasting, boarding and the endurance exam. And then finally the final exam. To save your time, I'm going to do them in the order I just described. So if there's one that you are struggling with particular, just scroll and you'll find it. Skip a few bits so you're not wasting your time. And hopefully this will help everybody who has struggled with them. So let's get on with it. Destruction exam first. Couldn't find a way to redo the exams on the Caribbean server and the War server. So I'm going to have to do that which does mean I'm going to have to skip the destruction exam. But that is literally just sinking one ship. So I'm sure you'll be fine doing that. So we will proceed with the demasting, boarding, endurance and then the final exam. So here we are, we've got in, load up chain in your cannons and just get closer to the ship in general. It will shoot at you, so just try and angle a bit, just generally get closer. A little bit closer now, let's have a look. Still loading. So the mission is to just demast it, so don't worry about getting hit, it'll be alright. Convergence, I've got it on water currently. I'm going to change that to 250 meters. Missed. I literally just one shot. If you can. No, I only did the one. And it doesn't matter. I'm going to do a swivel left. Try and get on the arse of it. I've never been the best at demasting, but even I can do this, so you should be able to do it as well. Make sure you don't wiggle your mouse around too much. There you go, there's one. So I've got the aiming on. Oh, there you go. Done. That's not too bad, was it? So nice and easy, chilled out. You're going to want to have your. It'll show me in a minute. If you go into the graphics options, you're going to want to change your fire zone visual to geometry. That will help you to see individual cannon shots and generally make things a lot easier. So just nice and steady. Don't wiggle the mouse around too much. If you aim directly onto the mast itself with your middle mouse, then you'll probably often miss unless you've got the convergence right. Or you can look, have it on 250 and have a look at where the cannon is going to be projected to do a rough guess. That's all I did there. Easy peasy if you just get a couple of nice shots on. Don't worry about getting hit yourself. You've got plenty of health to be able to sustain that attack. Someone has even managed to do that in 47 seconds, which is amazing. I'm going to go on to the boarding exam now. So this one requires you to take over the enemy vessel. Because you are in a little boat, they are generally quite wriggly, and board it. To do this, you're going to want to make sure that you are between the enemy ship and the wind, so that you can then stop all the wind going to the enemy ship, which means it will drastically slow down. You also want to be loading grape. You don't need to damage the enemy hull first, as things are currently. Grape is just a monstrous. So just sail right up to it, get right along next to it, get your boarding already going by pressing the 9 key. Now that enemy ship is going to wriggle around, don't worry about it. Try and get some shots in. Try and aim for the deck. There you go, it's 26 crew murdered already. We're going to go to battle sails. Like I said before, you want to be between the wind and the enemy ship, if possible. But it looks like the enemy ship is going to be lining up nicely for us here. Make sure you are prepared to stop. That enemy ship is now trying to turn to hit us, so now we can go straight into the wind. Turn off your other things, just slow right down. Depower by pressing T. You should have learnt that in the other tutorial. And now board. You need to be going 3.5 knots or less to board. Ideally, I would have been in a position where my cannons can shoot the enemy crew, but I just wanted to get in there. So as things are here, you're probably going to want to be doing fire deck guns first. Yeah, they've done the same. Then you're going to want to wait until they have changed their thing. There, so they're going to go fire grenades now. And then you attack at the last second, and that absolutely decimates them. And then you just press brace again and wait until your preparation goes up. You need plenty of preparation to attack. This is the easiest and safest way that you can do this. You do not want to attack when they are on a defend, that is for sure. You're just going to wait. Let them do your thing while you sit on brace. The enemy will not attack you unless they have more crew than you. You can do a fire deck guns every third round. So they're going to do a fire deck guns. You want to make sure that you do not attack when they are on a fire deck guns, as that decimates your attack and it does not do you any favors. So on this one, I am going to attack at the last second. They are doing fire grenades. There you go. Done. Not too bad, was it? Let's go to the next one. We did that in 4 minutes 16. The record is 1 minute 42. They must have done a marvellous rage board. Let's go to the endurance exam next. This is the endurance exam. So as we did in the previous one that you hopefully just watched, we are going to go and board this ship. Make sure the cannons are loaded up first. That is a captain of the white in that enemy brig there, which means they have more crew, so we're going to use that to our advantage and make sure that they board us sooner. So, just like the last one, going to sail right up to it and get boarding initiated. Make sure you are loading grape. Don't bother about your bow, just have ball in there I suppose, and try and get in that nice position. Don't worry about taking a little bit of damage. It's not that big of a deal. Want to initiate boarding as quickly as possible. The cannons are loaded, so now we're going to get the boarding prep done. Few of them out the way there. Need to make this turn really tight. Hopefully we'll get there in time. They now have less crew than me, which means that they will not be too inclined to initiate the initial boarding. However, make sure you have the wind on the enemy. Oh, that was a little bit low. But we are going to get in a boarding position here. There we go. Are my cannons aligned? Not really, but does it matter? There you go, that'll do. Pulling. Excellent. Turn the other cannons off on the other side by pressing F5 by facing that position. And then turn off your cannons and sailing down on the bottom. just like in the other tutorial, you're literally just going to rape them a bit to death. So that's the fire deck guns on both sides, and then you're going to wait a little minute. You can shoot your cannons with the bracket keys while you are in boarding. Attack at the last second, and we've taken over that ship. Easy peasy. Make sure you go on that ship, take care of the rum and hull repairs, and sink it. You don't want to capture it, as this is the tutorial and it wants you to sink everything. Did I set that to sink? Confirm, sink. I think it's sinking. We'll find out. Either way, let's go and get the other one. Make sure you put your cannons back on reload again by pressing F5 in the direction that... oh, that's bow. In the direction that they are, and it stops them from reloading. We're going to do the same thing again, but on this ship here. So the cannons are reloaded, which means I'm going to... we have enough crew to sustain... oh, the enemy is already stuck in irons. It'll be beneficial to us. Just going to have to do a loop around. Don't worry about getting shot. Do a nice steep pan. Hopefully some of those do something, and they didn't on this occasion. But again, the eye is going to want to do a hard left, so make sure you do the same. Try and get in that favourable position where your cannons can look-see on the enemy ship. Makes boarding a lot nicer. Turn those cannons off. Boarding will hopefully be initiated in a moment. And the enemy ship did not decide it wanted to board. That is annoying. Nevertheless, we can make this work still. They are slowing down right now, which means we can still get this going. If you go up full sails, you can block the enemy's wind from reaching them if you are between the enemy ship and the wind. So we're going to use that to forcibly slow the enemy ship down now. If you did the sailing tutorial, you will learn that you can slow yourself down in the process. Ooh. I may have missed a little bit there. Oh, there we go. As I have less crew than the enemy ship, they initiated boarding. And again, you can attack the enemy ship with your cannons using the bracket keys, and whereas the AI does not do that. And the fire deck guns, oh, they've gone fire grenades, so they've gone the opposite way around to what I wanted them to do, but it doesn't really matter. Now they're going to go on fire deck guns. Make sure you are braced on that, and then you are going to want to wait till the last second. This is the easiest way of doing it, as they will probably be on brace themselves when you can jump on board and murder them. So then go straight back to brace, see what the enemy does. Your main concern, if you have more crew than the AI, they will not attack you. However, they will use deck guns. Now you have to make sure that you do not attack on their deck guns. If you do it on their grenades, that's fine, which is going to be the case here. One. There you go, that did a lot of damage. You've got to get their morale down to 0. If you're running out of crew, press 5 and 3, then your crew will have a bottle of rum and be ready to fight again. So they're going to go for defend. If you attack on their defend as well, that also hammers your crew, which you don't want. Do not forget to keep firing your broadsides like I just forgot then. That also eliminates their crew. So they've done a fire deck guns there. I will not be able to attack until at the last second until I have more preparation, so I just need to wait a turn. I can do a fire deck guns, however, which hammers them quite a bit. Now they are on 0 morale. If the enemy ship enters 0 morale, you just attack and you have won automatically at the end of that round. Just like that. Done. Love the jubbly. Let's go to the final exam. The best time on what we just did there was 4 minutes 50. We just did it there in 8 minutes 47. I don't know how they could have possibly made that twice as quick, but somebody's done it. Shows I am not the best, but certainly not too bad. The average time is about half an hour, so that's not too bad. Shows you I'm showing you things which will improve your gameplay. Final exam, here we go. In this one you are in a surprise. If you've ever watched Master and Commander, you'll probably be creaming over the ship in game. And it's not a bad one in game neither. And we are against 2 Cerberuses. There are several ways in which you can do this. Let's see how we go about doing this today. Looking at it, you've got plenty of repairs in which you can choose from. So again, I'm going to go for the boarding technique on one of them, as if you eliminate one of the ships quickly, then you've got half the firepower shooting at you. You just need to make sure you do it where the other ship cannot slap you in the face while you are boarding the enemy. So let's work our way up there. If you're angled a little bit against them, then hopefully most of their cannonballs will bounce or miss. As you can see, they've both fired a broadside and not much has really happened. I'm going to start preparing the boarding already. And it looks like I'm going to be able to board one of them relatively quickly, which would be lovely. That one over there is going to get out of irons pretty quickly. But I'm going to go for that one anyway, as that ship will probably either turn left or right. And that ship there will probably turn the other way and then be stuck downwind, which means I will then be between their friendly ship and themselves, which is where we ideally want to be. All my cannons are loaded, so I'm going to turn my crew off from loading the cannons and more into boarding itself. Make sure you stay at full sails to steal all the wind from the enemy. Slow yourself down, depower, get the grape on. Hopefully it does something. Slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. Boarding. Oh no, they've just sped up. Oh, come on, slow down. Come on, slow down. There, got it. Pulling. There we go. Turn the crew off from that side by pressing 5 again. Don't worry about the other ship too much. Hopefully it won't do too much damage. Hopefully we'll get rid of these relatively quickly. Fire deck guns. Straight off the bat. They're probably going to go grenades by the looks of things. Yep, so I'll just wait. As they are probably going to go for fire deck guns themselves now. Keep firing your cannons. to get their crew down. Make sure you're on grape. On this turn, we're going to attack. Make sure it's at the last second, but otherwise the AI will then press defend if you give them enough time. There you go, that's hurt them pretty badly. Just repeat the process. The other enemy ship is not in a good position to attack, and it can't really get to me because of the wind. So we're just gonna wait, repeat the process. Go fire deck guns again. Don't forget to keep firing your cannons. Enemy can't go fire deck guns yet, I don't think. Oh, they might be able to, I'm not too sure. But either way, we're going to attack at the last second unless something changes. There you go. There you go, that is one of the ships done. Grab hold of said repairs. And link it. Let's get the men on the cannons and the sails again. Most of the cannons are still loaded, so that's not too bad. We can start making our way over to the other one. Eventually we'll get going. I mean, I might as well board the other one. It's just quicker. Swivel our way around. Probably going to get shot, but it'll be okay. Yeah, we got shot, but it'll be alright. Don't do a hull repair if you've only taken a bit of damage like what we have on here right now, as that will remove the crew that you need to be doing the boarding itself. Now this should be interesting because I don't think I'm going to get the correct position to do a boarding unless I ram it directly. We'll figure this out in a minute. Try and deflect some. There we go. We did a little bit of that. So we want to be between the wind and the enemy ship, not the other way around, or you're not going to get in a position to do a nice board. However, this opportunity to grape is just asking for some attention. This short range, maybe turn your convergence to 100. I'm going to try and get one on the stern, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. All my cannons are loaded as well, so I'm going to turn off the extra men on the cannons so I have more for boarding. And looks like the enemy has goofed up, so we're going to initiate this boarding right here. Lovely. Don't forget to fire your cannons. Nice. Because we were right behind them, we got a stern rake on them anyway, which is ideal. And the same process begins again. Looks like they're doing a fire deck guns. We can do the same. If you're running low on crew, then you can happily... Oh, they've done a musket fire. Interesting choice. If you're running low on crew, you can always press 5 and then 3, which will give you more crew as you give them a bottle of rum, and then everybody's happy. But I waited on that turn as I wasn't sure if they were going to go for the fire deck guns or not. However, they didn't, so they're probably going to do it on this turn. Yep, so now you're going to want to attack at the last second on this turn. I'm going to pop a rum just to make things a little bit quicker. Attack. Oh, they didn't like that. Now we're going to go fire deck guns. Doesn't matter if you don't need to do the fire deck gun the last second. And now I can also fire these. I didn't do anything that particular occasion, but it's alright. If I can, I'm going to get a cheeky attack in there. No, it locked me out at the last second, so now I'm going to have to wait this turn, as the enemy will do fire deck guns, and you do not want to attack on a fire deck guns. Like that. And so on this round, we should pretty much have them. 3, 2, 1. Oh, nearly. Not far off though. I'm gonna go fire deck guns. We've got defend, which they shouldn't do. Also gonna fire off these again, see if we get any more in. I've got a few more murders in. Just gonna brace. So they're gonna go fire deck guns this time, so I don't want to attack. Yeah, so on this turn we are now going to attack, and that should hopefully be the end of that. Oh shit, I pressed the wrong button. Never mind. Oh bother, we'll see if we can get a cheeky one in on this run. No, missed it. There we go, I got the attack in that time. And that's the final exam. It's not too bad, was it? I hope that has helped you. Yes, there was a lot of boarding in there, but believe me, boarding is king at the moment. I hope you've learnt enough on how to do it against the AI, enough in those videos to replicate that. This is what you get when you finish the exam. You get a few bits of repairs, some cannons and a Cerberus. Nothing huge, but it will definitely get you on your way. I hope this helps. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.